Welcome back to another one of Don's Get Your Health Back series. Today I have Brad Leech here, and I had to write this down because not only is he a nutritionist, he's studied Ayurvedic herbalism, and he's a researcher in autoimmune disease, which is becoming prevalent everywhere. I mean, so many people are coming down with this condition. So I've just got to ask Brad, why is there such an increase in autoimmune disease?
Well, Don, I believe that the increase in the prevalence of autoimmune disease is actually contributed to us not treating the cause of the autoimmune disease, but rather treating the symptoms of the autoimmune disease. Now, the prevalence of autoimmune disease is kind of estimated to be between 7 and 9%, with more people having an autoimmune disease than people with heart disease and cancer combined.
So, what is autoimmune disease?
It's a very complicated group of conditions. Over 100 different conditions have been recognized as having a autoimmune disease mechanism or an autoimmune disease. And in the most simplest terms, it's when the immune system becomes confused and actually starts attacking itself, almost a loss of immune homeostasis.
So what would confuse or muck up a natural system such as that?
There's a number of factors that contribute to the development, the progression of an autoimmune disease, and I refer to them as my 4 modifiable risk factors. And so with someone with an autoimmune disease, they'll have dysbiosis, which is the imbalance of microorganisms within the gastrointestinal tract. They'll have increased intestinal permeability, also known as leaky gut, inflammation, of course, and immune dysregulation. Now, these 4 modifiable risk factors, they kind of coincide with one another and kind of make each other worse and exacerbate the clinical presentation of an autoimmune disease.
So with those 4 that you've spoken about, they sort of complement each other. When one gets away, it's sort of promoting the other.
Exactly. So in a whole system approach to healing someone, we need to actually address all of them concurrently and not just one. There's no point just addressing the microorganisms like through particular dietary changes or lifestyle recommendations. We actually need to address all of them concurrently to have optimal health.
But before all 4 get underway, you could start off with something as simple as irritable bowel, which could activate the other 3.
Exactly. It's a cascade of events. When there's poor digestion, then that leads on to one that leads on to another.
So before all this gets underway, if we get early symptoms such as irritable bowel or we're getting a little bit of inflammation, this is a time to actually start doing something before it becomes an autoimmune disease.
Exactly. Especially if you've got a direct family member with an autoimmune disease, because they, at the current level of scientific research, we believe that 30% of the development of an autoimmune disease is contributed to our genetics. The other 70% is environmental factors. So if our direct family member has an autoimmune disease, then we are at a higher risk of developing one, and thereby we should actually be consuming the diet and addressing our overall health to prevent this autoimmune disease from occurring.
But apart from genetics, the environmental factors are worse now. So you're seeing an increase in numbers?
Definitely, an increase in the prevalence of autoimmune disease and the severity of autoimmune disease.
Well, there we go from Brad himself. Autoimmune disease has early warning signals. And if you've got irritable bowel, or if you've got a leaky gut, or if you've got digestive problems, maybe it's a good time now to start rectifying those before you end up with an autoimmune disease. Have a think about how you feel today and how simple it would be to rectify the problem today and not have that in the future. There you go. Thank you for watching another one of Don's Get Your Health Back series.